I just feel like doing a reading. So I'm gonna read what message needs to come out. It may have to do something with the short I made about gratitude is attitude, and how if you believe that the trauma you experienced is something you had to go through because you're unworthy of better and more, that it's actually automatically keeping you stuck in a cycle of personal like abuse and lack of opportunities. So let's just clear out what this message is about. Let's see. Maybe I need to do it like this. It's better. Yes. Okay. My hair is so funky. 111 as I said that. Okay, so archangels, what is this message about? The sun, the Knight of Cups, and the moon. Because it's a full moon. Full moon message. Moon message. There's a message of happiness, clarity, youthful energy that's like that's coming through. But I feel like the message wants us to become enlightened about this youthful energy. And then with the moon, it's something that's deep in your subconscious that wants to come out. The sun didn't feel straight up, it felt horizontally. Well, kind of. And the moon and the Knight of Cups felt straight. So on the bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. So this means there is something, wow, the Two of Cups behind it and the Five of Coins. Yeah, there's this energy of worthlessness or feeling like you are being left out of experiencing something because you are not mature enough, or like you didn't earn it based off of the hard work that you've been doing, or you are not composed enough to experience it. You are not healed enough. There's this false narrative. So that's what definitely is coming through, like the word false narrative. But we're gonna figure out what's this Knight of Cups, please. Apart from it being a message, did you see how that flew over my shoulder? Like what? It's the Eight of Coins. So the Knight of Cups is the Eight of Coins. Let's see, and then we have the Sun, and then the Moon. That's 18 minus 8 is 10. So that's no, the Wheel of Fortune, and then 20, oh no, 19, that's, so there's this energy of somebody thinking that something happened to you because it's your rightful karma, or that something isn't happening because you are experiencing karma. But there's this lesson here that speaks about endings. We have the Ten of Swords on the bottom, and there is this inability to see and understand the lesson behind it. That it's not because you haven't done enough or that you are not ready yet, but it's because you haven't learned something about what you're experiencing yet. So this is connected to the short that I was making, or that I had made an hour ago or two. And it speaks about being grateful for what you've experienced and overcome. With the Knight of Cups, it also means being grateful for the journey and the length of the distance. The length or the distance that you have reached or have gone through. How do I say that? The length you have. How do I say that? Like the adventure that you just went on. You went on this journey. I don't know how to say it. I don't know why. So there's something that it might be difficult to find your words about, or to put something into words, a feeling or an experience or a certain thought. Yeah. Why is it so hard? Ten of Swords on the bottom with the Nine of Cups to the Nine of Swords. So there's with the Eight of Swords to the Ten of Cups. Come on now, guys. What is this energy? To the Nine of Wands, to the Empress. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but like, what the F? This speaks about your self-worth. Wow, that's so bad though. It's a lot of, like, it's not bad. They're not bad cards, but the energy is so, so restrictive. We have the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Swords. So that's actually you feel betrayed or you struggle with an ending because you think that whatever this ending, the reason behind this ending was to your life, or the meaning behind this betrayal you experienced or pain was because you are unhealed. Yeah, because we have the Eight of Swords to the Ten of Cups. It's because you believe that you are unhealed and your view and perspective on your dream relationship or your own self is distorted in a way that you tell yourself that your dreams are unattainable, or that what you wish for in love and in romance is not coming to you, and that you won't find that stability. And the reason why you think that you don't find that stability is because you tell yourself in the energy that you are hurt, that you still have to learn something, that you have to go through something. But I don't see that to be true. I see that you tell yourself this so you don't have to be vulnerable. There's something that you're avoiding, and that's why you're like gaslighting yourself. Like you're telling yourself that something is true, a certain narrative about what you believe in is true, but it's not correct at all. So we're gonna figure out why you're telling this to yourself. With the Empress on the bottom, it also speaks about, because that was the card behind the Nine of Wands. You tell yourself that you haven't achieved something yet, or you're not at the right place in your life to be able to sustain something. So, for an example, you think that you're not ready for a boyfriend or a household or a family because you don't have a car or you don't have a big house. You tell yourself that because you haven't achieved that, you won't be able to completely and fully sustain and maintain the relationships, a relationship as is. You tell yourself that, but it's because, yeah, you're suppressing something with the Four of Cups behind it and the Knight of Coins. So we go from the Knight of Cups to the Eight of Coins, back to the Knight of Pentacles, to the Four of Cups. Okay, so it's like dividing. So first of all, half of those feelings, hey, so half of those feelings, I don't know what's so funny, 44 Burr, I don't know what's so funny, but hey, Marley Estelle, welcome to the reading. But there's this energy where, first of all, the half of what you're experiencing and feeling is not your own emotions, okay? These are energies that are either in the atmosphere, you're picking it up from anyone around you. We'll figure out what it's about. But it can be it can be coming from your counterpart or somebody that's your spiritual spouse, or however you want to name it. Everybody has their own terms for it. But the energy that you're picking up on is not fully and 100% yours, okay? You're picking this up because you need to learn and understand that some things take time. You need to understand the wisdom behind, I don't understand one thing, just separate from this reading. I don't understand. You come on a live and you speak, exactly. You don't speak English. Well, I don't speak Portuguese or Spanish. I'm sorry. If you want to ask a question, you go to Google Translate and you translate what you want to ask. Oh, it looks like Italian even. Where are you from? I am from my mother's vagina. I'm sorry, I'm feeling so cheeky. I don't feel like that's relevant. Hey Kelly, I am going to email you, Kelly. Because I saw that you booked a reading. I'm going to text you and email you with information, and I have some questions, of course. This is not our typical crowd, Kelly. Yeah. Brasileiro mas moro na Holanda. Okay, well, I don't speak Portuguese. I'm sorry. Looking forward. Who is this? Recovery Isa BTH. Hi. How are you doing? I'm okay. How are you? So let's figure out, because there's this yeah, the Emperor behind it. There is this lesson that you might not be wanting to no, it's okay, Kelly. Just let other people, it's not our job. You are an adult. These people are adults. You cannot, no, don't train an adult. It's like training a dog, an old dog, new tricks. just my site name, just Gigi. Oh, hi Gigi, I guess. Okay, so there is this energy. I'm gonna close the chat. I'm very sorry, actually. I'm gonna close the chat because I am getting distracted. So I'm not seeing anything with somebody's typing. So if you have any questions, you can always email me, okay? Happy birthday to y'all. There's this energy that you're not trying to like accept, but it speaks about growing and how growth will come when you put both of your feminine and masculine energies simultaneously together to reach a desired state of stability, of putting your dreams and your wishes into, like, calling them into the physical world, making them tangible. So I'm gonna take these cards back and I'm gonna clarify what this is exactly about. Is this about the collective not learning a lesson, or is it about, well, this one was like that. This is clarified and that was clarified with that. Okay, so is this because the collective thinks that they need to learn something? They believe even, yeah. What is this energy? It's very negative. Like, it's conflicting at heart. You're making it very difficult for yourself, whatever this energy is. The Emperor and the Queen of Swords reversed. You have this incorrect truth about how to create stability, how to show up for people, how to fulfill your responsibilities, the way that you create structure, how you organize, how you plan, the scheduling part of your life, like the order and the structure part of your life is completely misunderstood, like out of alignment, misalignment. Yeah, it's because you don't want to see, you're impatient. There's something that you don't want to see coming. You constantly tell yourself exactly that something is not coming. You're blocking a blessing for yourself. I don't know for who this reading is, but the energy that I just picked up on is that you are blocking a blessing for yourself. And how you're doing that is by being impatient towards understanding that if you don't have an answer to it, you will experience the answer by letting it naturally come to you. And you keep telling yourself in your mind that the reason why something isn't coming is because it wouldn't be there in the first place. Like, it's weird. Like, you jinx yourself with the Five of Swords on the bottom and the Four of Coins. It's like control issues. So out of control issues, you block your own blessings because you keep telling yourself that because it hasn't been already, because it already, wow, you see? So it's also making you like stress in your mind. It makes it difficult for you to communicate, to express your words. You're very hasty because of it, because of these control issues. It's like this weird tension that makes you really want to, like, you want it now, and if you don't get it now, then it's going to be a problem. Like, that's the energy, and it's really toxic. It's really, really, really toxic. It's really toxic, especially with the Queen of Swords reversed. It's also like, if I can't get it, nobody can have it. That's the type of energy. It's very childish, it's very cynical, very pessimistic, it's very wrong. Like, you're completely off with your judgment on a situation. You do not see the truth and you do not see the clarity of some type of matter. And the reason behind you doing this is because you have control issues, and those control issues, they tell you, like, you gaslight yourself with your control issues, that if something hasn't already arrived in your life, it's because you were never meant to receive it. But it contradicts what you already know, because you knew you were meant to receive it. And then you tell yourself, well, if I'm meant to receive it and it's still not here, it means that it's not meant for me. That's the energy that you're putting out there. And that's how you, first of all, break your own heart and block your own blessings. Because you take away not only the truth of the situation, but you also take away the spiritual and energetic opening through which these blessings will come to you, because you close it off. Because you have this, because the Queen of Swords reversed also somebody who's very rigid. It's somebody who has issues with having a clear and still mind. This is somebody who does not meditate, who is incapable of, for an example, reading between the lines. This is somebody who's also not that quick in thinking. You could also call this somebody who's stupid or dumb, actually, more dumbfounded, not naive, because there's no fool here, or the page of cups. But there is this like harness, exactly, with the Knight of Cups. There's this harness energy that you tell yourself that you have to protect yourself from something, because if you already had what you wished for, it would already be here. And because you didn't receive it, it means not only that your wishes aren't coming true, but that whoever you're praying to, whoever you believe in, doesn't have faith in you. And in that shape, when you think like that, you're going to attract a harness. You're going to become very defensive, distrusting. You're going to become how do I say that? Like, it's also not aggressive, but this is passive aggressiveness. I really don't like the Queen of Swords, and especially not especially not reverse. Like, this is somebody who's cold. You are mean to yourself. You judge yourself way too hard. Pardon me, you could be judging others around you way too harshly. You could be very critical, overly critical, to the fact where you're not even criticizing people with feedback or having proper critique. You're just literally judging them. So it's not like, oh, you didn't clean up the table right. This is somebody who would spill dirt on it and be like, you see, you didn't clean it right. This is somebody who's also petty. And this is also somebody who likes that control and who has very strong issues. Like, this is somebody who's really tense. Like, this energy is really nasty. I'm sorry. It's really bad. Like, I really don't like this energy. So let's get out of here. Yeah, with the Three of Wands. Clarify. Are the Emperor and this Queen of Swords reverse the same type of person? Or is this the same type of energy? Because the Emperor is more of an attitude. So it's also like you have a very pessimistic attitude. With the Devil reverse, yes, it's the same person. So the reason why you are in masculine energy is because you haven't resolved your control issues about your blessings. And the reason why you don't have those control issues solved is because you still think like you are more like low life than you actually are. It's like because the word low life came up, but it's like you still think lesser than of yourself than you truly are. And you need to let this go, because it's a very bad habit and it's not going to help you move forward, not only in the world, not only in love, but this is how you are keeping yourself from overcoming challenges in your day-to-day life. Aspects in career, in health, in relationships, friendships, or romance. You know, this is also an energy that makes it very difficult for you to socialize. It makes it difficult for you to show up to social gatherings and to be able to be resilient and have the energy to network, for an example. So it's really isolating you. It's making you hard, stoic. It's making you very detached and cold. And it's making you feel like it's also putting you in your ego, because it's putting you in this state of mind where you believe that you're better than anybody else. And let me already tell you, if you are watching this and you experience that you've been doing this or that you think like this, I might be hard what I'm going to say, but you are no better than anybody else. You stand above no one. Everybody stands beside you and you stand beside everybody. Nobody is above anybody or below anybody else. Nobody's better than somebody else. No, well, not only well as in, oh yeah, I'm better than this person because I'm more kind. Yes, in like, how do I say that? In ways of discussing character traits and flaws, yes, you might be better, but overall, as a human, as a soul, as a human heart, you're not better than anybody else. Because just like that saying, every how do I oh wow, what's that saying? Okay, wait, let me search it up, because now I forgot it, but I really wanna. Every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. So it's like you can change inevitably every moment of the day when you like, right? So if you're a bad person today, you can become a better person tomorrow, but you choose to stay bad. That's where what kind of decides if you are better than somebody or somebody else. But that's only when you go deeper into that philosophical, I feel like I want to say, subject of how can you define somebody's like goodness, you know? And most of the time, because it's philosophical, there is no answer to it. It's just discussing and philosophizing about it. But in this context, you are not better than somebody else. But with this emperor energy, you're starting to feel like you are. And it's so funny because the moment I said you're not better than anybody else, the people who are watching this live, it dropped down. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but it dropped down. So that means that there are definitely people who still think that they're above others. And that's what will always put you last in your life. You will never get anything in your life if you think that you're better than somebody else. Those are the people that become very bitter and angry and negative on the day of their death, or like on their deathbed, because they will be these old, grumpy, raisin dried out, drained ass souls that are like, life is this and it's so negative and I'm not happy. I never had this and God never wished me to be happy. Meh, meh, meh. It's those grumpy ass fucktards. Like, sorry, but that's what came out, the word. So it's like the universe is also saying, like, how is the collective or whoever is experiencing this not understanding that if you want better, you need to do better. Doing better means thinking better, feeling better, working better, showing up better. It's not just that you think like, oh, okay, I have this plan in my head, I'm gonna dream about it, and tomorrow I wake up a brand new person. No, you have to put in that sweat. You have to put in those tears. The Eight of Coins, it stands for working. It stands for perfectioning your skill or talent. It stands for learning about something. But especially it speaks on learning about a hobby or a skill that you already have and going deeper into it. Becoming a master of your craft. It's really craftsmanship. So it also speaks about understanding how your emotional self is developing, how you're dealing with those energies, with that emotions, with certain thoughts. And that's something that this person or this collective energy doesn't want to learn, right? So, or well, you want to learn, but it's difficult. And the reason why is because it's very difficult to let go of this habit of wanting control over the things that happen to you in your life. When you go to the grocery store and you had a funny and good day and you're just in a good vibe, and suddenly somebody who's grumpy as fuck, and you can notice that energy coming in the store from a few meters or miles away, or feet, whatever you want to call it, feet, not miles. You notice that you kind of want to run away because you don't want that person around your aura. And then you understand and you notice that you kind of you see that person coming your way, like in the, how do you say that? Oh, wat kut. In het schap. Like you see that person coming your way in the supermarket and you notice that you want to turn and like walk away, right? And then what happens? This person automatically or accidentally bumps into you. And then suddenly you get this contagious energy that's now onto you and you feel this like, ugh, why did this happen to me? I swear the Most High never wants me to be like having a chill shopping spree. They never want me to stay untouched by strangers, because that's what's coming up. Like I'm picking up all these energies of people just like y'all are nagging so much. Like it's crazy. Like I'm just hearing all these thoughts of people being unsatisfied and unhappy with their lives. And saying things like, oh, God never want me to just have one day of peace. Oh, God never want me to just step outside without being bothered. You know, those types of thoughts, they will only attract more of those negative situations. And the reason why is because you're highlighting it. You're highlighting it as something that you really don't want. Energy doesn't understand that. Energy thinks, oh, collective is focusing on this. That means they want it more. Because, like, yeah. Because I feel that I'm going so fast over, but that's this energy as well. It's like you live on a timer, like things have to be done now. It has to be finished right now. It has to be blah, 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 clock, 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 clock. It's like you're so stuck in the fucking matrix. Like, Jesus. Take a breather, a week off. Like, that's what you need, like, every month. Honestly, a week off. Because this is just crazy. This is just crazy. But this speaks about like people or you collective like then going outside and then just nagging, coming home and just being like, God never wants me to just have one good day without being harassed on the street or being ridiculed by random people. While half of the time, these people, you don't have control over them. If somebody bumps into you, you walk away. And then you just do this, you cleanse yourself, you do a little prayer, and you let go. It's not that hard. In theory, it's harder than in practice. Okay? So it's like you also are kind of resisting this, and that's your shadow aspect, because you're not wanting to accept that there are parts of you that also like to just nag. You love to be a little bit bitchy, you love to be petty, you love to be annoying. There's no problem in being that, but there is a problem in denying that you are like that and then going like calling wolf and then crying when shit really hits the fan, because then you're like, no, I never nag, I'm never negative, I'm never petty, I don't do this to other people, I don't bother anyone, I don't give out bad looks, I'm not annoying, I don't ask too much questions, I'm not too intrusive, those types of things, while the Most High is actually telling you, look, this is coming up because you need to accept that you are. Because the moment you accept that you are, you will release this blockage and you will accept more of what you truly want. Because you're shifting your focus and your narrative, thus, from what's truly important to you. Is it truly important to you to constantly tell yourself who you're not? Or is it important to you to confess to who you are in truth and accept who you are by loving yourself, even if there are parts of yourself that you don't appreciate or like? That's what's really important in this reading, what I'm picking up, because that's exactly what you're doing. That's how you're building resistance to yourself and your own growth. You're not focusing on inner growth, you're focusing on inner rejection. And because of that inner rejection, you're going to get that back from the universe around you by experiencing things that are going to make you believe and feel like the universe is rejecting you. Oh, Jesus, my Lord and Savior. Exactly. So it's also the Three of Wands, the Two of Wands, sorry, because this makes me feel like the three with the Fool. Because the Fool, he's carrying his stick. The things are not coming in because you are not taking that leap of faith, of believing that there is more than what you are showing or receiving for yourself. There is more than what meets the eye, okay? You need to take a risk into jumping in that darkness, that dark abyss, but also the dark abyss in your mind that tells you that you are worthless. Go into that abyss and ask yourself, since when and why have I been telling myself I'm worthless? What happened to me that I started to believe that I am worthless? Many times you will figure out it's other people. Literally, it's always bullies. It's always bullies. People who are insecure, who hate themselves, who have just been taught to believe that about themselves, trying to program the same shit in your mind, telling you always you're worthless, you're not funny, you're incapable, you're uninteresting, nobody cares about you, you will never make it, won't do this, you won't be able to do that, you're a loser, blah 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 blah. People saying all these things to you, and then you need to ask yourself, because most of the time this is where people then bump heads again. Is what these people told you about yourself true? If so, why? Why do you believe it's true? If not, why did you believe it was true? Because it's going to tell you much about yourself. It's going to tell you that you actually feel better about other people's opinion over you, or when it's a good opinion, that you feel more content with yourself. You're going to highlight your own insecurities because you're going to realize you're actually more dependent on other people's view on you than you wanted to admit. You care about other people's opinion over you because it makes you feel better about yourself. You care about what people tell you because you understand that criticism helps you build yourself up. But when you misinterpret it and see it as, oh, other people's words about me define who I am in truth, that's when you're going to block yourself and create this love-hate relationship with yourself, because you're going to be in denial about what you're really gaining from it, whilst also accepting their energy and taking those lies and those illusions for truth. And then you build your whole character around half lies, half truths, and then later you grow older and you grow with these lies, right? And this shitty relationship that you have with yourself, and you start to become confused, because as you grow older, you actually realize you were not really who they told you to be, or who you were, or who they wanted you to believe that you are. But you also realize that there was some truth in it, but you didn't want to accept it because you didn't know yourself properly enough to be able to say, okay, well, maybe I am a bitch, or maybe I am rude, or maybe I am this, all the bad things you want to say about yourself. And then you struggle again, because you're like, okay, well, if I don't know who I really am, then why do I believe and think that I am good? Why am I nice? Why do I think that I am somebody else, that these people aren't saying about who I believe that I am? It's really complex, I'm noticing. It's very layered. Okay, let me open the chat just to see again what's happening. Okay, how are you doing? Ha 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 ha, hoi, okay. The chat can't be seen by the medium. Never heard that saying, it's a good one. Great life, wow, what a good message. Oh, thank you. Thank you everyone for liking my live. I appreciate it. It was a very important message that I feel like came up, and I don't understand why. Because I'm about to do other readings as well. The weekly reading is going to come up today, and I'm going to do a moon reading for divine feminine, divine masculine energy. But this is about the bad habits that you have, what also forces you to be in this masculine energy, okay? It pushes you into this energy or this state of being where you are kind of focusing on the shallow aspects of life. You're focusing on status, on the quality of life that you're showing to other people. For an example, how does your house look like? What's people's first impression of me? What can I share without going too deep, so I don't show them how I truly feel on the inside? It's more so a very defensive but also protective mechanism to keep people at a certain distance. Spirit is saying at bay. So it's like you don't want them to understand how deep your waters go, how sensitive you are, how kind you are, how loving you are. And this because all these years you struggled with kind of accepting that you truly were, because people mistreated you to the point where you did not believe that you are. So you started to accept this false image that others portrayed over you about yourself, and you started to run with it. And you started to run with it in the sense of believing that you were so negative, or that you were such a lousy person. I'm also hearing lazy. I'm hearing weak character. I'm hearing copycat. So it's like people just have so many things to say about you, collective. Exactly. Spirit is saying they have so many things to say, collective, but just know that that's just it. It's chatter. They just have things to say. Saying does not mean facts. Saying does not mean truths. Saying does not mean what's actually going on. It's just blah 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 blah. That's literally what I also keep hearing. Like the energy. These are people that just love to gossip because they it's so weird. These are just people who like to gossip and talk bad things and say negative things about other people, because that's how they not only vent, but it's because they just can't keep their mouths shut. Like these are people that just thrive. Like these are chickens, birds, chickens, yeah? Like in a coop, chickens in a coop. And you are the big bad wolf. That's what they want you to say, but you know why? Because they're intimidated. Because you know how to keep your mouth shut. And people who know how to keep their mouth shut are very good observers. And people who observe, they see the truth, because you see what goes on behind the mask. And that's why people who know how to the fuck up, how to shut up, those are always the ones that are seen as more intimidating, or those will always be people that will be like judged quicker, and they will be seen as, like, I want to say the victim, but they will be, how do I say that? What's the word? I keep forgetting the word. So that also tells me these people are stupid. They have a very low, like, not only EQ but IQ. Like they have a lack of, how do I say the, oh my god. These are people who have a very, very low vocabulary. Like they lack a lot of words. I don't know how to phrase it. Like these are people that just, I don't know. but you're picking up that energy and you're acting like it's you. So there's also a part of you there, the energy, the message is just there is something that you feel is happening within you and you don't understand where it's coming from, right? But the reason why you don't understand where it's coming from is because it's not yours. You're picking up on other people's energy that are so consumed by how intimidated they are by you that all those projections, it's such a strong like cloud and it's very dense and it tries to kind of wrap itself around you, but you're feeling resistance. You think it's resistance towards what you feel is true inside of you, but it's actually resistance to these energies, to these people. So this can also be if you suddenly notice your friends or people at your work around you, they only come to you when they want to gossip. There are only people around you that just want to come to you to vent, to talk trash about their own life or situation, to dump their trauma onto you, their energy onto you. You're starting to notice that you actually don't want to be around those people anymore. You're starting to finally see and realize that who you were in the past is not the same version that you want to become now or set a foot in for the future, right? And the Fool card says that even if you are unaware of what it exactly is, follow your heart because it's in the right place. You understand that what you feel, there is something within you, it's driving you, right? It's your heart, it's your soul, but it's speaking through you through this mirrored interpretation. So it's a challenge to also help you discern. Why is discernment important? Discernment helps you in the future with references or events like these. They will help you understand that when somebody sends you an emotion or a thought out of a lower vibration or for whatever reason it is, you will understand that when it reaches your aura, your magnetic field, or where you are, your friends, whoever it is, can also be family members because you grow and evolve. You will realize that when it reaches your aura, you will be able to feel, hey, this is not mine. And you can say, I feel this feeling, but I know it's not mine, so I release it. When you are able to discern, you are also able to control what's going through you, what you're accepting, what you're progressing. What you're, how do I say that? What you're processing. Thank you. And you have more say over your inner world, your emotional world, but also your mental world, because the same goes for thoughts. When you know how to discern which thought is mine and what thoughts aren't, you will pick up every time you feel some type of energy literally being shot at your head. I always picture it with the Eight of Wands. It's because it's projection. It's like gossip is also projection. Where is the Eight of Wands? Eight of Wands. When people project onto you, this is literally the energy. They send you like, you can see it as a bow and an arrow. People just firing, pardon me, shots at you, being like, pow, pow, pow. Collective is this, collective is that. When they trash talk about you, or even when they say something like, did you see what collective was wearing today? Or did you know that they went through this and this with their partner? For an example, a private conversation they're having with somebody that they gossip with. You will pick up on these emotions and feelings, and eventually when you develop it, you will grow that gift out to be so strong that you can even pinpoint from who it's coming from. And that way you can see who is your enemy, because your enemy will be like, he won't be how do I say it, he will be disguised. The other one, he will be exposed. Thank you. He will be exposed. So it's like you will realize how your enemies will look like, because many times, and this is the hardest part, I believe, that comes with spirituality, and a lot of people don't want to accept because they don't understand karma and reincarnation plans. Many times, unfortunately, your secret haters are your family members and your closest friends. That's just it. Those are many times the most karmic people in your life. The reason why is because you reincarnate in a certain family to help you become your true self. You will be stuck in a family that mistreats you, abuses you, neglects you, so you understand how to not neglect you, how to not abuse yourself, how to not stand up for those things. But because we are indoctrinated, thank you for the siren, we are indoctrinated with this narrative that family is family, family is something you need to love and respect, and of course it's not for everybody the same, but even if it's something very small, it can come back from past lives with a family member, and it can be such a blockage in your own growth that it's important to really filter out who is kind of the op and who isn't. But many times this whole narrative of, well, family is family and you have to be grateful and they're the only ones you really have, you get to be reincarnated with these family members because there was karma from your past life that you have to resolve with each other. Somebody has to become aware, somebody has to learn a certain lesson about letting go or attaching or attachment. And sometimes it's also that, for an example, you have a family member. How do I say this? That you have a family member that, yeah, I'm trying to figure out an example, a good example. Past life situation. You had an uncle that was forcing you to marry when you were the body of a little girl, when you were a girl, through your father, but your father was too weak and had no backbone to say no, and your uncle forced you through your father, and like manipulating your father, etc., to marry an older guy just so that your uncle could get money. For example, something like that, okay? Something very funky, but yes, shit like that happened. What happens is you will then reincarnate either with your uncle, your father, and you, kind of the same family, but the position will be different. Your uncle will be reincarnating as your mother, and your father as your father, or vice versa. And then your mother will be somebody who's gonna be a raging, obsessive, pushy ass bitch who will tell you in this lifetime that you have to marry a good, fortunate man, a very good, fortunate man. And it will be somebody who will enable your father in this lifetime to not continue with what he's feeling. And what your father then might be feeling is telling you in this lifetime, no, marry for love, do it for love, do what you need to do. What your lesson then is in this reincarnated lifetime, where your mother was your past life uncle and your father was still your father from this lifetime, is understanding the dynamic of those souls and how they, in the dynamic between all of you, had an influence over each other. What kind of influence did they have? Where did it stem from, originate from? What type of insecurities did this person have? Probably the soul of this uncle, what now is your mom, extreme scarcity. His personal soul's adventure from the past or past life reincarnation was probably that he was like homeless for 5 lifetimes, you know, and he is so consumed with needing money to survive in abundance that that's his new mission. So that means his soul is going backwards, but he is put in a place with souls that need to go forward to help you push through these blockages. In that way, you will also grow and develop. You will understand in this lifetime what really is worthy: love or money, for an example, lust, right? And then if you even work it out pretty good, actually, you can make it out to be in such a way that your father will eventually divorce with your mom in this lifetime because he will create a backbone and realize that, hey, actually, we are so different from each other that I realized that you made me so passive and you like took my voice away. His wife, right? Your mom, that was first your uncle. And that's going to help his soul awaken to his inner strength. It's going to help you awaken to what's true. And it's going to help your uncle, that's now your mother, awaken to the fact that they have been like scars the whole time, that they have been abandoning themselves out of fear for homelessness or desperation, whatever it is. Stuff like that. When you grow up in families like that, and you have these very weird situations with your family members, or people are lying to you, or friends are lying to you, or people are all interwoven into your connection and trying to have a say over your life. Many times that's when you also need to realize, hey, if somebody just wants to control me, what I do, how I express myself, how I feel, how I am, what I say, and you know you're not harming anyone, most of the time that's somebody who does not have good intentions for you also spiritually, and there is a karmic lesson behind it. We call it karmic because we need to learn. Karma means lesson, right? And what I'm picking up with this example and in this context, it's like we oftentimes think that because it's family, or because we have been best friends forever since we were small, since we were in how do you say that, lower preschool or grade school, whatever the fuck, like, oh, we were 5 years old when we met each other and we're still friends 20 years later. You have no idea that discernment can teach you that that friend was always a snake, that that friend did the worst shit behind your back when you thought that it was somebody else, but they were just pointing fingers, right? So discernment is important because it not only helps you navigate your soul in this world, but it will also make you spiritually more conscious and aware. It will help you expand. And that expansion is what you need, especially now we're in the age of Aquarius, because the age of Aquarius is a revolutionary age where the only thing we need to focus on is growth, 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 and continuing that growth with positive intent for everyone around us, especially community. So this is about collective energy. So we will be learning a lot of lessons about how we as a whole group, or as for example a family, or as a friend group, or as a partner relationship, can grow and expand while also not harming other people and still benefiting from that expansion. Like, I feel like I want to say, like, yeah, explosion of ideas. It's very funky. Wow, that was so difficult to explain. Wow. That was so difficult to explain, guys. My head was breaking. Okay, so what else? Because otherwise I'm going to close out this live. Because I'm feeling it. Yeah, 10 of coins. So the reason why you have to experience this is also to unlock your kind of your legacy. And your legacy exists out of multiple things. It can literally be monetary wealth here on the physical world, but can also mean that and everything that you put worth in and to. So if you want a happy and healthy family, pardon me, then that's part of your legacy. You will get that when you accept that how you've been thinking or believing that you are is not true. Like, you've been resisting this type of change and it's only keeping you stuck. But this can also mean it's going to unlock your spiritual heritage, right? That what in the ethers is promised to you. This can be ancestral wealth, health, luck. It can be abundance that comes in many forms, in monetary wealth, but also tangible wealth. So this can be, for example, winning the lottery, or finding an antique, because this is what I'm getting, finding an antique object or item that is worth a lot of money that you can grow with, and over time you can eventually sell it again, and generate more money. So it also speaks about investments. And the more that you, oh my god, look at what we have at the bottom. The 8 of Wands. And we just had and then behind it is the 5 of Wands. So it's literally working, like practicing to love yourself, keeping yourself from forming negative thoughts by, this is what I also told a client today, actually. I gave a good example. Misery loves company, right? So if somebody around you wants to trigger you, instead of letting it trigger you, just like domino blocks, you can choose when the block touches you to not fall. You can choose to just stand upright. Because if people try to trigger you, instead of reacting immediately and being triggered, you can think and be like, wait, why is this triggering me again? How do I want to respond to it? why is this still here, and where is the origin of this emotion, and is it worth it to react like this, right? If you ask those questions, if you think before you speak, you will realize that many times people who are triggered want to trigger other people. So that's the same with this energy. They want you to kind of stay stuck in where you are in your development because they're stuck. And they want you to be so afraid and heartbroken for that what you don't know is happening or is about to come into your life, that you will refrain yourself from taking a risk. Because the moment you take a risk and jump in that abyss, right, of unknown and how do I say that? Unwary waters? Nay, unknown waters. The moment you jump in those unknown waters, you don't know if you're gonna survive or not. So it's like you just need to have yeah, how do I say that? Because it's like you feel like you want to flip a coin the whole time. It's like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I believe it? Should I don't? And it's more like just choose. Just choose whatever. Believe it or don't believe it, but it's time to choose. And you have to put in the work now because you have to start to learn to choose, and you have to start to learn to stop your thoughts in the tracks when you think something bad. You have to start to really learn how to think before you speak. You now really have to put it into motion. You have to put it into the active work, because if you don't, you're only going to create more conflict and obstacles and make it difficult to step out of this mindset, exactly, because you're just going to burden yourself with emotions. It's like you don't want to work with all the elements. You just make it jump from emotions to energy to action. And if you don't put it into action, it goes from feeling a certain way, thinking about it, and then just accepting energy for what it is. It's very weird. Like, I want to clarify what this weird energy is. But with the 10 of coins, it's really asking of you to start letting go of this juggling that you do, going around something, being in denial, or also lying to yourself. It really needs to stop. Pardon me. It really needs to stop. Because if it's not going to stop, you're not going to get what you want. And you will never get it until you learn this. Unfortunately. And it's very harsh, yes. But that's also an example Spirit wants me to give you. It's like, it's harsh because this is the same harsh way that you treat yourself. It's harsh, yes, because you are harsh on yourself. Let's clarify what the 2 of coins is. Because I want to know, what is it that you're exactly juggling? What are you so in limbo about? We saw that it was about the truth about who you are. That you believe that something is not coming your way because you think you don't deserve it. Or that if it wasn't already here, it means that you're not going to get it. It means you're impatient as fuck, by the way. Because are you dying? Are you on your deathbed? Are you sick? If you are, I apologize. But then still, it doesn't mean that it will outrun your life clock. It means that you need to be more patient, even though the circumstances make you feel like it's not worth it. You still need to stay loving, even if the circumstances try to make you stop, you know? Like, that what you're experiencing around you should not have any effect on how you feel on the inside. And I think that that's your lesson here. Because that just shows that your environment has control over you. And if the environment has control over you, that means that you don't have control over yourself. And if you don't have control over yourself, you don't have control over your destiny, over your manifestations, over your wishes, over your energy, over what you want to call back in from the ethers, because things are not going to land, because it's not going up, because you don't control the air around you anymore. The air around you controls you, and the air in this context is thoughts. And they're very bad with Queen of Swords reversed. Very aggressive, very hard. You're very judgmental towards yourself. So for an example, you drop something and you break it. And this is what I also notice a lot of people around, like the boomers, they have it right now. A lot of boomers, they go through this. They are very tough on themselves because of their rigid parents. Because they come from survival ages from the war. So their survival mode instinct is very high. But a lot of boomers, they break something, or something goes wrong, or something falls, and they're like, ah, shit, I'm so stupid, or I'm so clumsy. Saying something like that is an attack on your character. How do you know that it wasn't just meant to break? Because you don't understand. Sometimes when things they shift, I spoke about it months ago, years ago on my channel. When something, yeah, how do I say this? Sometimes when something falls, yeah, I'm taking this plate. If this would fall, or if something would happen, it can also signify like a timeline shift. So it's like you don't know why something is happening, why something is breaking, why something is falling apart, why two people stop talking, why somebody is not picking up the phone, but concluding that it's immediately something negative about you and that that's why it happened is exactly what's keeping you from loving yourself, because you're very harsh on yourself. And that's what you need to stop doing, because if it happens when you break a plate, it happens with everything in your life. If you don't get accepted by a job, you're gonna tell yourself, oh, it's because I didn't study enough, or my how do you say that, CV. What the fuck? Let me just Google it, because I need to. I always forget it as well. Oh wow, it's the same. A CV, curriculum vitae. I don't know. It says here that it's the same, but I don't believe it. Good example, you see? It says it here that it's the same, but I don't believe it. That means that there's a part of me that still doesn't believe what I see is true or what I experience is true. Because I believe that it's not the proper word, but factually it is, right? So that's like, okay, so I'm still fighting with those facts. So I'm concluding that what my eyes experience or what I'm feeling on the inside is always above the truth that is already there, and it's very obvious. Yes. So then you will think about your CV, and then you think somebody didn't hire me because I am just not good enough for the position, while it's just like you were not meant to work in a company because you're going to be annoyed by all the four annoying ass coworkers that sit around the copy machine every day during break time, or people that work in the kitchen and that are annoying as fuck, or when you work at the call center, you always have this one micromanaging ass coworker. The most high, they foresee the challenges that you need to go through. So rejection is divine protection. You're not getting somewhere, or you're not getting something because it's not the right time. It's not meant for you now. You're being protected. You're not ready for it now, or something like that. But it hasn't to do anything with you. It's not because you're unhealed, because you're imperfect, because you're this or that. No. Well, in this context, yes, now because you believe things like that, but inherently it's not. But you told yourself it is. So, okay, let's go to the Two of Coins. Wow, it's an interesting reading, actually. It's very layered. Yeah, Spirit is saying like a cake. Trying to be funny, but there's so much tension. Like, the tension is like, it's bad. This is also for people, I feel like you do not do anything to bring calm and peace to your nervous system. Like, you are very tense. Your shoulders, you're like, ugh. Like that aggression, it's like so bad. Like anger or something, it's like, power, control, I want it now. It's really nasty, actually. People like this are an immediate turn off for me. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do. Yeah. So you're choosing intuition. No, you're constantly dibbling and dabbling in between two things. Your intuition and that what you know is right, because you're very intuitive, and we have a queen, but this is no gender, okay? Feminine intuition is female energy, action and knowledge. So actually intuition is female, knowledge and ratio logic is male. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's not gender, it's energy. Every man has feminine energy and every woman has masculine energy. Because we all have a conscious, a mind, and we all have a heart, right? And a gut. So you're constantly fighting in between believing what your intuition is telling you is true and what is being presented to you. Okay? Presented. This is a wand. What did we talk about with the Eight of Wands? Projections. So, and it's also 8 makes also 9. That was the 9 of Wands reversed. People are just, people will always project onto you with the 8. Number 8 is infinite number, okay? People will never stop projecting onto you. And it's not because you are somebody bad, or because you lack in your character, or you're not enough by God, that you always have to go through the struggle. No. It's because you need to always learn. You love learning, you love to grow and develop, so you can handle this. It's gonna be there to remind you of who you are. That's why you go through these negative things, to remind you of what you're capable of and what you're capable of overcoming, not what you're incapable of or what you're struggling with. And because it's some energy that's presented to you, you constantly accept that what is presented to you through the outside world, like I said, the outside world is controlling you. You keep taking it as truth. And then you feel resistance from the inside because your intuition is telling you, wait, that's not true, because what I'm feeling is something complete opposite, or it's something completely different. And then you keep going around, and then it's like, huh, but they're showing me this, so then this must be true, right? What they're presenting to me, what other people are showing me in their attitude and their words and what they're doing. But you intuitively feel that that's just a mask, because you need to learn. Yeah, Spirit is telling me this. You still, hello, you still need to learn that what we perceive with our eyes is not the truth of the unseen and what's happening beyond the veil. Everything we experience in the 3D is like the mask of intuition. Everything that's happening, like the 3D is like the mask of the 5D. So, and in the 5D, what do we have? Like the same thing that we have here, we have symbolism. So in the physical world, there is symbolism. People can shake a hand to signify that they work together, that they know each other. But you never know. A handshake can also be an agreement. You don't know if the agreement is going to be good or if it's going to be bad, or what the intentions are. You don't understand if one person is going in that handshake with the idea to fuck the other person over, or to play, like I'm hearing, a Ponzi scheme. You don't know that. So you cannot assume that those things are true. You can just only see, okay, I am how do you say that? Yeah, objectively seeing that they're shaking their hands. What do I feel is behind shaking their hands? The moment you then feel, okay, I'm sensing with my spidey senses and my intuition that I am seeing with what I'm picking up from the outside world that they are shaking their hands, but I feel behind that handshake is an agreement where both of them are unaware of the other's intentions. So from the outside, it may seem like they're going to be friends, they're going to do business, but from the inside, you're noticing one person is going to maybe, how do you say that, use the other person or just trick them, right? So it's like in the physical world, you also have symbolism, but we forgot to realize that. We forgot to realize that if somebody gives you a hug, it's not always because they actually like you. Sometimes people struggle with people pleasing and they think, ugh, I cannot say no because I struggle with saying no. I don't want a hug because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So they still do it because people constantly struggle with things. So that's just the outside world. You're picking up too much from the outside world, letting it guide you and believe that what you see is truth. But it's not truth. What you feel is truth, but not what you see and what you experience. Exactly. You need to. Wow. 3 of Swords reversed. You know what I heard? Broken hearts fix your vision. A broken heart may fix your vision. So it's like, instead of letting your heart break, become more objective when it comes to, and unassumptive. Assumption is whatever. Assumptive. My brain is leaking, guys. Like, it's so much information. Luke's vision. Can you read me? Because I'm trying to get a student visa for Italy because I want to go there in August. My star sign is Leo. Read my comments. This life is really helpful. Thank you, Kelly. About the guy, Luke's vision. You can book a reading with me through the Calendly link in my bio. You can also always email me. I don't do readings through my live anymore. Well, at least not right now. I'm not feeling it at all. Okay, so let's see what else, because I actually want to close it out. But it's more so giving me... wait, let me just... Sometimes I just check the comments, but then I'm like, never mind. My brain was leaking. What did I want to say? I forgot what I want to say, guys. I just feel like I want to say stop letting what you're. Oh yeah, assumption. That word. I'm so tired. Stop letting what you're seeing around you that's happening in your direct environment, stop taking that as the truth. Not everything that you see is the truth. Use your intuition first to assume what is right and what is not. Don't conclude based off of what you see that you know what's happening, because it's not true. If you see that some people are together, don't assume that they're besties. If you see that two coworkers laugh very greatly, don't assume that they're fond of each other. You never know what the hidden intention or motive is behind what you're seeing. And the moment you do that, that's the moment that you heal. And you also heal your gift. You heal your gift of sight and your vision. Okay, it fell on the Two of Wands. And that's also when you release that scarcity mindset of thinking like, oh, if it's not here and if I didn't receive it, it means I will never get it. That also tells me y'all have not been studying, because it happens first in the spiritual realm before it happens in the physical world. It has to kind of drop down, trickle down. And if you have an idea of some sort, right? It's just like this. You have an idea. It comes up in your mind. You see a vision. You sense the colors. You know how you want to write out the plan. You know the name for the product or for your idea. That mind, that experience, that's the spiritual experience. Then you put it into writing. That's the physical experience. You're going to put it onto paper. You're going to draw it out. That's when you bring it from your mind, your thoughts, from the spiritual world into the physical, in action. You're going to put it out there in the tangible world, making it for everybody to see, and then putting in that work. And the moment you do that, that's also when you're going to see the truth of what is actually going to happen in your life and what not, and what have you been like kind of making yourself go crazy about, saying that you don't deserve it or that something isn't yours, because that's just all, I don't know if it's fear. I feel like it's just ignorance with the devil reversed as well as the fool. It's like this. Yeah, and with the Queen of Swords reversed, definitely ignorance. It's like you are just unskilled in knowledge. You don't have the knowledge. You just assume. So you have not been studying, you're not teaching things to yourself, you're not searching, researching topics, you're just assuming what it might be. It's like you go to a test and then you're like, huh, I've never studied for this test. And it's like, well, did you read this chapter of this in this book to study? It's like, oh, no. Oh, well, yeah, that's why you don't know anything on the fucking test, you fucking moron. Like, sorry, but it's just so obvious. Do we have something else to add? Because I'm going to close it out. Yeah, exactly. 10 of Cups. You see? Spirits are not funny. They sometimes pull on my hair and it's not funny. And it's because I'm being mean. I'm saying moron because I shouldn't. So I apologize. But I do think it's a little bit stupid. Because if you're not sure about something, you shouldn't speak on it. If you don't know the answer to something, you should not act like you do or speak on it. If you're unsure, just stay silent or say that you're unsure. Like, don't put on this fake, grandiose attitude of, oh, I am aware and I know how to do it, just because you want people to view you as somebody who got their shit together. It's better to accept and show people that you don't got your shit together and that you're true to yourself than act like somebody who does and actually show up as a fucking failure. Or like a failure in a project, or being able to not, how do I say that? Like, live up to something. Because that will ruin your reputation more than you staying true to yourself. Because when you stay true to yourself, people will learn to understand, oh, collective will still learn, they're growing, at least they're doing something, you know. And when you give up this false persona and attitude towards the world as if you already know what you're doing and you're planning things and you are aware and you don't need nobody's help, and then later people see that you were kind of capping all the time, people will look really down on you, and they will think that you're very arrogant and insecure and also ignorant, and that you just did it out of, I don't know, a weird type of fear. like a low self-worth, you know. And then that will in the future possibilities, because we have the Emperor, it also speaks about business, right? And also speaks about, for example, fatherhood or marrying the proper type of husband. It will cause for you to really not be able to build a proper foundation or structure also in your business life. It's going to make people not want to work with you, because they will always have that doubt in the back of their mind, like, what if they're going to present themselves as if they were qualified for the job, but then when I actually put them to work, they show me that they can't do shit. Like, I don't want to invest into that, because it's a failure. It's a means to failure. So it's better to stay true to yourself and admit that you are wrong, that you don't know, then and grow from it, than telling everybody or acting like you already know and do it. Because that's just no. And the Ten of Cups fell out. So that means that the moment you do this, not only, like we said in the beginning, your dreams and your wishes will that were blocked will come alive, but also that spiritual heritage, it will come together, and then you are in alignment, because then you have your physical and spiritual, how do I say that, manifestations all in alignment. You have all your ducks in a row, and you also completed the work to maintain and receive it. And that's what the Most High wants. Pardon me. That's what the Most High wants, and they want to move you out of scarcity mindset, thinking that you're not worthy, because this is also affecting your spiritual wealth and health. You see how the energy changed, how I'm more calm now and quiet. So it means that the collective, if you are experiencing this, you will go through it, and all that tension is going to be released. You can maybe need to go to the gym, or you might need to swim, you know, or do some exercises, movement exercises, to release this energy that's in your body, because it's stuck. It's very stuck, especially your pelvic floor and your hips and your back, so your lower three chakras. And your heart space, of course, because it's blocked, but the heart space is the bridge. So you have to first start at your root, or you start at your heart. You can decide. I would not recommend starting with your emotions. I would recommend starting with your root, so doing things, actively starting to change things. Or you start with your third eye and your throat. You start to speak the truth about the matter, speak and address things as they are. And then you will go to your heart. You will understand trust. You will trust yourself even more. And then you will go down. You can choose for yourself. Are you going to start with your upper chakras and go down to ground yourself? Or are you going to start with your lower three chakras and go up to become aware? Neither of those are wrong. You can start with both. Whatever happens, you will still be aligned, okay? So now, and this is also an example. If I'm speaking on chakras and you don't understand what they mean, don't ask in the comments, hey, what do they mean? Or assume that you know. Do your research to really figure out what are chakras, how do they work, how can I activate it, what does it mean when they're imbalanced, what does it mean when they are balanced, what does it mean when they are neutral, how do I block it, you know. Do that research, put in that active effort to become aware and to build the life of your dreams, instead of just dreaming about it and telling yourself that because you're dreaming, that's active enough. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I always continue, exactly. So there's how do you say that, rest coming into your life with the Four of Wands and the Four of Swords. So your subconscious is going to find the peace and tranquility again, okay, when you do this, and you will be released from this pressure and that like nagging energy. It's like somebody constantly wants you to overthink and go crazy in your mind and blah, blah. It's gonna be gone, okay. So this means, collective, that you are on the right path. And it also means that you're open to change. And that's good, because it means you're aware of what's happening within you. And you are aware that you want things to go better. So treat yourself like you are aware of that you deserve better. Talk to yourself in a kind way. When something bad happens, it can happen. There's a very big difference between intentionally harming something and somebody and accidentally. And be honest with yourself. Ask yourself also, why am I so hard to myself? Why am I so rude to myself? Why am I demonizing myself, kind of? Because that's what I'm getting. Like, you're like making yourself out to be worse than you actually are. And if you have made mistakes and you want to ask for forgiveness or you want to resolve it, do it. You have nothing to lose. The only thing you have to lose is your dignity and your actual love. The only thing that you have to do is that alignment, your wishes and your dreams, because the more you give into those false narratives about who you are, and the more you give into mistreating yourself, hurting yourself, you're actually showing the universe, I am really worthless, I am really undeserving of divine love, I am really undeserving of the biggest wishes in my world. Whatever it is, everybody has different wishes: a beautiful career, a nice car, a beautiful house, a silent home, where trauma isn't the root. So it's like everybody has their own different wishes and dreams. And you need to really start to believe that because you come this far and you want to change, that you are still worthy of those dreams. Even if you don't see them right now, it's because you're not done with the work that helps you receive them, okay, and obtain those dreams. Whew, wow, this was a very intense reading. And what it's also telling me is that when you go through this healing phase, you're going to experience a lot of pressure in the beginning. You're going to experience a lot of difficult thoughts. You can experience a lot of energies or emotions that are really trying to make you believe like you're not worthy, like you can't let go. They're really trying to, yeah, exactly. It's lies. It's lies, because they're really trying to trick you into believing it's not going to work. They're trying to trick your masculine. Again, this is how we started the reading. This is how we started. Oh, not with the tower, but now it's different. So now you're going to realize that it's a lie. Your subconscious has awakened to the fact that this is something that you started to tell yourself because of other people, place, and things around you. They want to see you in that low life image, because if they put you in that image, if they put you in, if they hold you accountable to that narrative that you are worthless and shitty, they feel less bad about themselves. So it's actually, what's so shitty about readings like this? It always comes down to the same thing. There are people around you that are unhappy, and they want you to be unhappy as well. And that, I just get so sick of that. Like, I just, like, can't we read about something else, Like, when is there a new species of animals being born? Stuff like that. Okay, well, thank you and good evening. Have a nice Sunday night and a good week. And yeah, if anybody has questions or want to have a reading, book one, you can always email me and come in contact with me. I also have my WhatsApp number in my bio. You can text me, but be very clear in your text, because I will not respond if you're not. And yes, my cutoff game and ignore game is very strong, and you will feel like you did something wrong, but you don't have to. But it's like, address your questions clearly. You're welcome, Kelly and Ever Happy Dude. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate the time that you invested into this live, and thank you that I could read for you and with you. And I hope it inspired you to become better, but to believe that you are worthy of better. I think that's it, yeah. So yeah, you can just text me, email me for a reading or book one. And Kelly, I'm going to email you or text you maybe. I'm going to send you a message, okay, about the readings. Bye, everybody. Have a good evening. Oh, and a happy full moon in Leo.